Hi there, crafters! Welcome to Craft and Create Club's Stained Glass Box. This month, in your box, you will find, as always, our instruction booklet with all the instructions to do your project in writing. You'll also have the QR code to link right here to the video. You are going to get a bottle of clear glue. You're going to get a bottle of puffy paint. You are going to get a plastic keychain. You're going to get 2 pieces of plexiglass. A small brush. 12 different colors of paint. Some black thread. And a nice assortment of some pictures that we're going to use for our stained glass. This project is all about stained glass, so we're going to get involved in some really fun activities, and you're going to be able to create your own stained glass projects. Let's get started. All right, let's get started on our stained glass project. What you're going to need for this section is you're going to need the drawing that you choose to actually make your stained glass. There are some that go horizontal and there's some that go vertical. Whichever you want will work. I'm choosing the rainbow and stars for mine. You're also going to need your plexiglass. You're also going to need your puffy paint, your glue, your paints, and your paintbrush that you were sent. I'm also using a paper plate to work with during this so that I have some place to stir my paint and my glue together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we have to peel the paper off of the plexiglass. So to do that, you're just going to grab the little ends of the brown, and you're just going to peel it back. Do this on both sides and then just throw that part away. We're going to do this in 2 steps before we can hang it up. And then, like you saw in your box, you will have, and we talked about earlier, you have pieces to hang your stained glass up to. So I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with. Feel free to add to your designs if you want to. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to lay your design, your plastic, over the top of your design. Now if you want to get a few pieces of tape or something to tape it down so that it doesn't move, you can completely do that if you want. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your puffy paint. I have blue, everybody has a different color, but you're going to take your puffy paint and then you're going to begin to outline the entire picture. So anywhere there's a black line, you're going to want to add puffy paint. This is going to take a little bit of time. Be careful not to smear it on your plastic. So you want to stay just above the blue line, just above the black line, and lightly press it on your plexiglass. The puffy paint is actually going to act as the lead for the stained glass. So we're not making real stained glass, we're making faux stained glass. It's just as pretty. In real stained glass, there would be lead in these where the black is, but we are using puffy paint instead. Okay. So mine is done being drawn at this point. So now what we need to do is we need to let this puffy paint dry. At this point, if you want to go ahead and pick your second design and do your second glass, you absolutely can. That way they can both dry together. You would at least need to let them go for a couple hours so that it does not get paint bled when we actually go to paint in between all of the puffy paint. So make sure you let it dry at least 2 hours. If not longer, okay? All right, so you go ahead and get to work, and I'll see you back in just a little bit when mine's dry. Okay, Now that our paint has dried on our plastic sheet, now we're ready to color in the stained glass. So what you're going to need now is you need obviously your dried stained glass piece. You're going to need a paper plate to mix some glue or something to mix your glue on. You're going to need obviously your bottle of glue. You're going to need your little paintbrush, and you're going to need your paints. Now this is where you can completely get creative because you can paint this any way you want. So use your imagination, definitely step outside of the box and you know, paint the clouds different colors or whatever print you decide to do. Then I want you to just get outside the box, and I definitely want to see pictures. All right guys, let's get ready. I'm going to put this on the top view so that you can see me from above. All right, here we are. We're going to, first off, you want to take your glue and you want to put just a very small amount, like the size of a quarter, on your plate. You don't need a lot. You want to make sure you choose a spot to start in that is closer on the inside, because as you start to move your way, you want to move your way out to the edges so that you don't end up rubbing them with your hand as you're painting. So I'm going to actually start with the sun, and my sun, I'm going to do the inside of the sun orange, and then I'm going to do the outside, the sunbursts here, I'm going to do those in yellow. So I have just a very small amount, like the size of a quarter of glue, and then all you need for paint is, all you need to do basically is just stick that brush in, and just the little bit that you bring out is more than enough for your paint. You don't want a whole bunch of paint. You want it to be very thin. That is plenty to color this glue. And as you play with this, you might want it to be a little bit thinner. You can add a little bit more glue if you want. All right, now it's mixed up. Mix it really good. Mine's mixed up, and I'm going to paint the inside of the sun. So I only gave you one small brush because I've found that this brush actually pools really nicely on the plastic in between your stained glass lines. So then you're just going to dab it in there. Go all the way to the line, just like you're coloring in a coloring book. Come all the way to the line and just let it pool up for you. We don't want a bunch of brush marks. You'll be able to see those when we hold these up to the light, hang these in the window. You'll be able to see all those brush marks. There might be times that you want that brush mark, but in this case for me, I don't want them. Okay, my sun's filled. So now I'm going to move on to my star bursts. I will need to just take a little piece of paper toweling or dip my brush in some water to just get that paint off of there so that my paint doesn't bleed into the next color. See, I still have, as you can see, I still have a whole bunch left of that orange. So I even took a little bit too much of that. So when I do my yellow, because I have even a smaller section of yellow, I'm actually going to add even less glue. Now I'm filling in my sun rays. Okay, so my sun's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move to the rainbow now. You have 12 different colors here, so you have plenty of options. So just like we did in the paint pour project, we learned how to mix some colors. If you want to mix color, you absolutely can. The sun is a perfect example of that. If you wanted to do, like I have a really orange center, if you wanted it to look more like a golden sun, you could definitely add some yellow and orange, mix some yellow and orange together and get more of a golden sun. Make sure you clean off that brush. So just fill in all the colors of your picture just the way that you want to. Alrighty, so we're all done filling in all of our different sections of our stained glass. This is what mine looks like right now. I'm loving it so far. Now it does need to dry, so make sure that you set it aside, let it dry at least overnight, because this is all glue and paint that needs to dry, and you put it on thick. So make sure that you give it an opportunity to dry. Now you're also going to need to clean up your brush, so you have that. Of course, clean up the rest of your mess. Now when it's all done, you also get to you have multiple of these in your box this month, so you get to do more than one. I did one of flour already, and this one is all dry and ready to go. See, I can feel it and it's not messing it up at all. So this one, what you're going to need to do is now we're ready to hang it. So you're going to take that one of those pieces of ribbon that we included in your box, and you're going to, depending on however your orientation is, whichever picture that you did, stick the ribbon through the hole. So then take it through there, and then make sure that you double knot it so that it doesn't come undone on you. And then you might have a little extra piece. Just go ahead and snip it off with a pair of scissors. And then in your box also, you have the little suction cups so that you can hang it on the window. So then as soon as you're ready, then you can go ahead and hang it up, stick it right on that window. Make sure you share pictures. I can't wait to see what you guys did on this one. Okay, for our last project, we're going to make our very own stained glass keychain. So in your box, you got a plastic keychain. You're going to take it out of the package. It actually comes in two different pieces. This piece, we're going to wait until it's all dry and ready to put together. This piece, we are going to use just like our first two pieces, and we're going to use all of our small, you've got a variety of small different patterns here that you can use on your keychain. So choose whichever one is your favorite, and then you're going to put it under the glass just like you did for our other pieces of large stained glass. Go through the same exact process that we just did with our stained glass, and then when it's all done, when it's all dry, you're going to snap together your keychain and you'll have your stained glass keychain. Now don't forget to share your pictures with us. We can't wait to see what you created this month. Can't wait till next month.